I think it's always good. There's a lot of teaching to be made from the film and so forth, but there's a lot of good things that happened out there. The most important one is we won the game, and we've got a lot of teaching, and it's a lot easier to teach after a victory than a loss. So a lot of big plays, kind of an unusual game, but certainly had some big plays on the defensive side of the ball, and they had to play a lot of plays the way the game got dictated. But some great special team effort, and very proud of the kids, and it's a good win for them because they've worked hard. And hot evening, and they handled it pretty good. And we had a lot of kids. We had to play a lot of people, and they handled it pretty well. So with that, I'll take on any questions.
Jerry Marcus Jones run that back, the kickback. Was that the jolt you guys needed after kind of a sluggish first half?
Well, I think that it's just like anything. When you haven't played, we don't get preseason games. I think you get out there. I think we started 5 seniors, and we have a young football team, and I think it took them a while to get going and get used to the weather, the no huddle, all that stuff. We weren't really in a great rhythm, but Marcus Jones, when we left the locker room, I said, somebody's got to step up and make a play. We got to make some big plays. We're capable of that. Loosen up a little bit and just go play, and then boom, the opening kickoff of the second half. And it couldn't happen to a better kid. You're talking about a kid that's had 2 ACLs. His natural position was corner. He gave that up when he came here to help out until we got some recruiting going on the receiver side. Moved back to corner. Not a first or second teamer at the time. He played some valuable minutes at corner for us. And great, like I said, we're talking about being good teammates, and you got to give up some things to win. That's the best example I could ever give you. So I'm very happy for him, and it helped jolt us. And then the block field goal by Rashid, and then I'm not sure, we teach that all the time. You don't want to fall on a block field goal. And somebody pushed it out of there. I don't know who did it, but that's a great football play because we work on those things and got it scooped up and scored. So, when you score like that, your defense goes back out there against a no-huddle team. Our kids were dead tired, but they hung in there pretty good.
And are you surprised that Marcus has that kind of speed, that kind of burst after the 2 ACLs?
Jim, I probably am, a little bit. Most of the time you lose a step or two, but, of course we have the greatest running back in the game here that's gone through the ACL injury with Adrian Peterson, and with Marcus doing what he did with 2 ACL surgeries and still generate that speed, he's worked hard to get where he's at. So I think that's why I'm excited for him more than anything.
Jerry, you got to be pleased with the few penalties.
Well, I am. I'm pleased, and I'm always honest. I'm pleased that we didn't have no false starts, all that kind of stuff. That's a great thing. But I'm not pleased when you trip over the guard on the goal line and you don't score a touchdown. That's 4 points, miss extra point, little things, and that gets you beat. And we all know that. And is it better? Yes, it's better. But and didn't have a lot of penalties. But we still can't make those mistakes. You can't do that in the red zone. So. We have some work to do there, but again, easier to teach when you win than lose, and certainly with 18 to 22-year-olds.
You saw Max Williams, you've seen what he can do, but to come up in that spot with that catch, how big was that for you guys?
Well, it was big, and Max is a young man, local young man from Waconia that his daddy's got it, and his mother, great athletes, great people, played in the NFL for a long time, Super Bowl ring, and so he's breeded right into that, and I'm just glad we got him for 4 years. He's going to be a great player, and I think from an offensive standpoint, we've got to try to figure out, we've got a young man like that. We've got to continue to make sure we utilize him. We've got to get Donovan Jones, which is my fault. We moved him late to wide receiver, and we need to get him going. And so Wolotarski. So we're young. We're still going to go through some growing processes here offensively until we get everybody situated. But play good defense, and as long as we make some plays in the kicking game, we'll progress.
How did the offense manage to stay positive after the slow start?
Well, I think that it's just like anything. Is that I think part of that has to do with the coaching, and it has to do with the quarterback that keeps his kids in there. And Philip's done a good job. He's only a sophomore, but he doesn't lose his cool and kept his composure well. And I think the kids believe in what we're doing. They did some things, defensively. Coach Houck's a good football coach now. His brother's come from the NFL, they know what they're doing. So they did some nice things, and we didn't execute real good. But I think that all starts with your quarterback. I mean, it is what it is. That guy's got to stay composed, and in that position, it's not always going to go the way you want to. But he stayed composed and did a nice job with his feet. Did a great job of running the option, and then Mitch Leitner came in there, which was important there at the end of the game, and did a nice job running the zone read option. And sometimes when you can't block them all, that's the great equalizer is option football. So it was good to see that both of them do good things with their legs.
And we'll talk about Ray and Body all camp long, but you see him come in and fill Derek's role a little bit. Were you impressed by just the type of game he had, especially coming out with the big play?
Yeah, Brian's a good football player. I mean, he's another one that he's got 2 years left. He was one of the 3-year junior college players we recruited from Coffeyville, and he's a great young man. Comes to work every day and very athletic, and he's had a great camp. I mean, we talked about that all the time. And when you practice hard, you do well in practice, and you translate. That usually translates to the guy's going to play pretty good in the game. And he certainly played well, and thought he was going to run out of gas there for a minute. I'm glad Aaron Hill hustled down the field to kind of get in the guy's way, but glad to see him. Again, you like kids that do what they're supposed to do the right things, have success.
I think the secondary made up, though, for some of the size, physicality you may have lost with Derek not being out.
Well, I think that, Derek's a big corner. There's no question about that. But, Eric Murray's a pretty good player, too. And Shabazz made some plays, Balasar. So we're fortunate we have depth in that area. We don't have as much depth at running back in some places like that with Donnell getting a turned ankle and Edwards, or not Berkeley, but is that, Edwards being out or Berkeley being out is a situation where, I'm concerned about that. We're not deep in some of those areas, but we do have some depth in the secondary.
Coach, can you talk about your linebacker play?
Well, that's one thing. I'll have to go watch film, and, again, you're playing against the no-huddle spread offense, but, I thought we played pretty good in space, and Devondre, we played a lot of linebackers now. We had to. We played 6 or 7 kids in there, and we'll have to watch film, but I know they moved around pretty well, and Devondre and Damien and those kids, again, this is their first time in a Gopher uniform, and I'm sure they're a little bit nervous coming in, but looks like they ran around pretty good, and again, we'll all get better as we play.
Coach, just in general, with the emphasis that you put on special teams, how validating was it to see them do the little things early and have, impact like this right away?
Well, it's important, and that's how you can turn around football programs, and you have to do that. And I think one that we kind of forget is that we used our timeouts. We were fairly smart there at the end of the first half, and we were able to pin them. And then we got a good punt return. We held them up good. Just did a great job up front, holding them up. Marcus took the ball and then allowed us to score. And really, that was a big swing in the game right there. And it was a good job of guys executing on the punt return. And so it's valuable. There's 3 phases to football, and you gotta to win games. You gotta be able to make plays in the kicking game. And we still have to get a lot better. That's evident, but we'll certainly keep working on it. But I thought our coverage teams and our return teams and those people did a nice job.
Earlier in the game, you mentioned concern over Edwards and Kirkwood's injuries. What do you do against New Mexico State if Kirkwood can't go? How does that change your game plan?
Well, we that's part of football. We put the next man up. So David Cobb did a nice job today. Roderick Williams he's had a ton of experience. Cole Bam, James Gilliam, whoever, they had to step up. That's part. Derek Wells was out tonight, and we had guys step up. And you're always concerned about depth, and you're always concerned about injuries. Drew Goodinger got banged a little bit tonight, and we'll have a list probably as long as this tomorrow because it was a long game. Kids played hard, but hopefully we can stay healthy. That was our problem a year ago, and we got to find a way to stay healthy. And we have a little bit more depth in some areas, but that's all. Injuries are always a concern in the game because it's something you can't control. But you just hope the next guy up does a good job, and we were able to do that in the secondary. When Donnell went out, we were able to do it at running back, but we certainly need to get some of those kids back. And Berkeley, we certainly do. He's a freshman that's got some skill to him, and so we need to get him healthy. What's that? What about Jamel?
He was playing today.
Yeah, I don't go into all the things we do. It's just that I think my background is kids got to be on time, team policy. I've got things, and maybe I'm one of the few people that stick to it. But we're going to do things the right way. We're a college football team, and Jamel handled himself well tonight, and we'll continue to go through that. But we're part of winning is accountability, and so we're going to do all those things right, and we're going to hold them accountable. And maybe that's why we won tonight. We're doing the right things on that part of it. But I'm still coaching 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids, and my main job is to make sure they do the right things. But Jamel will be fine.
Coach, you mentioned it was a long game, not quite as long as last year's 3 overtime game, though. It's got to feel good to win by that margin and end it in regulation tonight.
Yeah, it is a long game. My personal self is my shirt's pretty wet, so I thought it was pretty warm, and I wasn't doing anything except sitting there, complaining about this or that every once in a while, as most head coaches do. But it was, those kids were soaked, and I'm really give our strength staff and our training staff a lot of credit. I don't know, we might have, I think Marcus cramped up a little bit, but in heat like that, and as you know, Minnesota's not used to the heat like that. UNLV may be a little bit more used to it, and so I think it's zapped us a little bit early. I don't want to make any excuses, but think the depth, us being able to play people, kind of saved us tonight. Because we had some kids that stepped up that had to do it, or we'd have been in trouble.
We'll take one more question if there is another one. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Coach. Well, Rasheed Hagman.